Have you ever been in a process improvement meeting where everyone seems to agree? Heads nodding, notes being taken, and action items assigned. But once the meeting ends, people quietly say, "This will never work." We knew this was the wrong solution, or even no one wanted to challenge the manager. If that sounds familiar, then you have seen something very important in continuous improvement initiatives in your organization. Process improvement teams may look aligned on the surface, but underneath, disagreement remains hidden. That is the core idea of my research, recently published in the Journal of Operations Management along with my co-author Kevin Lindemann from the Penn State. We call it the façade of conformity. In simple terms, it means team members in process improvement projects publicly agree with an improvement decision while privately disagreeing with it. But in façade of conformity, it is more dangerous because people appear to be supportive while hiding reservations. This is difficult to detect. You know why? Because from a manager's perspective, the meeting looks very successful. There was no conflict, no pushback, and no visible resistance. But the team was never truly aligned. This creates a dangerous illusion of consensus. Across many organizations, continuous improvement programs invest heavily in Lean, Six Sigma, Kaizen, Agile, and other structured improvement methods. Yet, many projects underperform, not because tools are wrong, but because the team dynamics are misunderstood. We wanted to examine whether false agreement inside continuous improvement teams could be one hidden reason. So, we formally conceptualized the façade of conformity in the context of process improvement teams and tested its impact on operational performance empirically. Many people assume this happens because of some individuals lacking courage. Our findings suggest a deeper answer. This behavior is often created by the system, not just by a person. Continuous improvement teams operate under a tension. On the one side, employees are told, "Speak up, challenge the status quo, improve the process." But on the other side, they also need to respect hierarchy, align with the management direction, avoid conflict, and deliver quickly. So team members receive two messages at once: challenge ideas and do not challenge authority. That contradiction creates pressure, a tension. When that happens, many choose the safest path: outward agreement and private disagreement. This is some sort of impression management behavior. And this is especially common when managerial oversight is strong, or when the voice dominates in the room, or when teams believe dissent may be risky. Continuous improvement projects are particularly vulnerable for three reasons. First, they depend on the frontline knowledge. The best ideas often come from people closest to the process. If those voices are suppressed, the project loses critical insight. Second, they are problem-solving intensive. Continuous improvement teams must diagnose the root causes, evaluate alternatives, and test the solutions. That requires honest debate. And third, many continuous improvement teams are short-term and cross-functional. They often lack time to build trust. So instead of healthy disagreement, members may choose artificial harmony. And the result? A project may look smooth, but is actually weak and may even fail. To test this empirically, we designed two complementary studies, one controlled experiment and one real-world field study. The study 1 gamified team experiment where we created 71 teams with 284 participants and used an operations simulation, a lean game of producing paper jets in a laboratory. Each team had to run a simple production process, making paper jets through a multi-step workflow under time and quality pressure. Because it captures the reality of many shop floor and service processes, like the sequential tasks, coordination needs, quality checks, speed constraints, and team-based process redesign decisions. Midway through the exercise, teams had an opportunity to improve the process by choosing a better workflow. For some teams, we created a condition where members had to publicly support a decision that went against their private preference. That allowed us to experimentally induce façade of conformity. We then measured two highly relevant operational performance outcomes. 1. Quality. Number of units accepted based on predefined quality standards. And 2. Speed. Time taken to complete the production batches. These matter because almost every improvement project is judged on some combination of quality, productivity, and timeliness in the real world. We used a difference in differences approach. In simple terms, we compared the performance changes before and after the intervention between the teams exposed to façade of conformity against the teams that were not. This helps isolate the causal impact of false agreement rather than just comparing the raw averages. In study 2, we moved from the lab to the real world, into a real organization. We analyzed 330 structured continuous improvement projects involving more than 1,500 employees inside a large financial services organization. These were actual continuous improvement projects executed using formal improvement methods with defined goals, timelines, and managerial oversight. This setting was important because many improvement project efforts today does not happen just in factories, but also in banks, hospitals, shared services, and even in digital operations. We measured the level of façade of conformity within project teams. We also measured operational project performance and the extent of collective team identification. That is, how strongly members felt united around team goals and other team members. This allowed us to test not only whether the façade of conformity hurts the project results or the outcomes, but also whether some teams are more resilient than others. And across both studies, the message was clear. When teams fake agreement, performance suffers. This is a crucial lesson. Many leaders interpret low conflict as healthy teamwork. But sometimes low conflict is not harmony. It is suppressed truth, which is dangerous for you and your firm. Now, here is the encouraging part. Not all teams are equally vulnerable to façade of conformity. We found that collective team identification helps protect teams. This means team members strongly identify with the team's shared purpose and success. When people think we are one team, our goal matters more than our ego. We succeed together. Then the negative effects of façade of conformity become weaker. Do you know why? Because such teams focus on solving the problem, not protecting their status. They feel safer to engage honestly. Our data showed that teams with stronger alignment and shared identity were more resilient. So, what should leaders do? Here are the practical actions. First, do not mistake agreement for commitment. Ask for alternative views before finalizing your decisions against what you think is actually right in continuous improvement. Second, Normalize constructive dissent. Reward challenge when it improves the process. Third, reduce hierarchy inside improvement meetings. The best idea should win, not the highest title in the room. Fourth, build team identity. Create a sense of shared mission, not individual turf. Fifth, ask privately after the meetings. Hey, is there anything we missed? Sometimes truth emerges after the room changes. If I had to summarize this research in one insight, I would say in continuous improvement, visible agreement is not enough. Genuine alignment matters. When teams say yes without believing in that yes, improvement suffers. Organizations must rethink what agreement really means. The real goal is not polite consensus. The real goal is honest commitment to better the processes. Because in improvement teams, sometimes yes is a no.